Clinical risk assessment is about keeping everyone safe, but the process also gives us a fantastic opportunity to demonstrate our commitment to person-centred care and to build a relationship with service users which enables them to grow and move forward in their lives. The first key skill is assessment. The long-term goal is to help people do the things they want to do as safely as possible. The risk event checklist and reminder links are there to help structure the initial assessment and indicate areas to focus on, but this alone does not provide a complete picture. In order for the process to be genuinely helpful in keeping people safe in the future, we need to understand the context and precipitating factors surrounding the events. A lot of this information should be available in the person's clinical record, but building up an accurate picture is about more than reading the person's history. The service user must be involved as soon as they can be, as without their perspective, we only have half the picture. The service user, clinicians and others involved in the person's care should work together to reach a full understanding of the facts and circumstances surrounding risk events. In what context did they take place? What were the triggers? An obvious example is when someone becomes unsafe because they relapse. We must try and establish why this happened. This means we must ask them about what was happening in their lives at the time, as their perspective may be different from that of professionals. If there are questions about the reliability of past information, this should be noted when it is recorded. If possible, seek to verify anything which is unclear. Once there is a shared understanding of the context, we can begin to work with people to manage things more safely in the future. It is vital that we view this as an ongoing process, not as a one-off assessment. The more we listen to people talking about their experiences, the more we will learn about the context of risk events. We should also recognise that taking positive risks is part of life. If things do go wrong, as they do in life, we need to help people learn from it and move on. Most importantly, remember that just as much can be learned from recognising and reviewing when things go well. The next key skill is recording. The documentation indicates that we take a collaborative approach when writing risk management plans, and we must strive to achieve this. We must be mindful that service users' previous experiences of risk assessment may have been anything but collaborative, and it will take our time, skill and willingness to help people engage in this process. If they do not want to, we can still listen and record their perspective. When working on plans with service users, the language needs to be accessible. Avoid clinical jargon and write plans with the service user in the first person. Talk about safety, not about risk. Any documentation about service users is a significant professional responsibility. Documentation about risk events will be used to inform a person's future care. We must be accurate and non-judgmental in everything we write and avoid speculation. We need to be documenting in the progress notes as well as in the risk event history, and risk management plans must be incorporated into the person's care plan so that everyone who is involved in the person's care is aware of how safety can best be promoted. Communication skills are at the heart of all these processes. Talking to service users about risk events often involves asking someone to talk about the most difficult events in their lives, and they may be asked to have this conversation at a time when they are vulnerable due to illness. Take the time to listen and understand, even if it means going over things several times. Communication with others involved in the person's care is equally important. All plans should be developed and reviewed not only with service users and other professionals, but also with families and carers where appropriate. There must be clear evidence of this in all documentation. When dealing with unforeseen risk events or changes, we should also be mindful of the need for communication with the MDT and clear documentation on events and decisions made.